Joe Blasco here for MUA TV, again with Matthew Mungle. Matthew, let's go back a bit. You came to Hollywood. How did you begin to work your way into being known, into meeting people that would eventually be able to help you to get into the makeup profession? I know that I took on a job as a telephone salesperson for the Lifetime magazine company, and instead of calling people and selling them magazines, I sat there all day and called makeup artists. and they would invite me over to the studio. This is how I got to meet Ben Nye and Bud Westmore and Gordon Powell. But how did you get to meet the people that eventually would nurture you? And I'm talking before you went to my school.
Well,
or did that happen afterwards?
The reason I moved out to Hollywood was to go to your
school.
To go
to my school.
That was the only reason that my dad would let me come out here.
I see.
Because he knew I really had a passion for it.
Yes, smart man.
And at the end of my 2.5 years at Oklahoma State University,
yes,
one of the professors who was my kind of mentor back there,
yes,
and my advisor,
yes,
knew I had this passion, and I
yes,
wanted to move, yes, to California, yes, to continue my career in
to Hollywood specifically.
To Hollywood, yes. Knew that I wanted to do this. Yes. So he and my dad had talked, unbeknownst to me, and I had already researched the
school that you wanted to attend. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was obviously your school.
Yes.
And so he had called up and researched it, and then talked to my dad and said, it's a very reputable, yes, school, yes, and yes, you should let him go because that's really his passion. That's what he wants to do.
Yes, yes.
So on December the 26th, I loaded up the car.
He knows the date, the exact date.
Absolutely.
Even I have to look at the letters that I have hanging on the wall to remember. Of course, I'm 20 years older than you.
I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was on the road at 5 o'clock, driving to California from Oklahoma.
Amazing.
So straight there, and that was my intention, was to go to your school.
Did you drive straight to the school?
No. I think I went to Santa Fe to stay with my cousin in Santa Fe, and then from there. And of course, my dad said, "Okay, when you get to Hollywood, do not go on Sunset Boulevard," because he had heard, bad things. At that time, where did I go?
Straight down Sunset Boulevard, right to the Strip.
Of course, to the Strip. And then I found a hotel I could stay at.
On Sunset Boulevard?
No. It was actually on Highland. It was
on Highland?
On Highland.
That's even worse.
I was the Hollywood Holiday Inn, and I couldn't get in there, so I went up to Best Western.
Good.
So I stayed there overnight, and then I went straight to your school the next morning with the car still packed. Introduced myself to the enrollment director, and
that was Amy Taffert.
That's right.
Amy was.
And then I think you were there, and I introduced myself.
Yes.
And this was December the 28th, because it took me about 2 days to get out here.
I'm amazed he remembers. I'm amazed.
Yeah, and it was right between Christmas and New Year's. So you were still here, and I went straight in, introduced myself.
I was pretty off the wall back then.
And then,
I was all over the place.
And it was. I don't think the class started until February the 14th or something like that.
After the first of the year.
So I had a good month and a half out here.
Yeah.
So
now, did I let you come into the school to watch?
See, I was very, very fortunate that my parents were taking care of me at the time and sending me money to do this, because they knew it was my passion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they didn't necessarily want me to work because that was what I wanted to do, and they wanted me to concentrate on that.
Yes.
And they had money set back for my college fund anyway, so they sent me that.
Well, go ahead.
And so you kind of took me under your wing anyway. You knew that I had a passion for
I recognized it.
You really did, and you nurtured my passion for sculpting.
Well, your class didn't start for 2 months.
No.
So he would come over and hang out.
I would hang out with
the
bleach,
at the school, and I felt sorry for him. I said, "Okay, come on in." Come on in, I'll let you watch the classes, and you'll get a little bit of a head start. So you got a 2-month head start, actually.
Right, exactly. I don't think there actually was a class during that. I think it was just prepping up.
Yeah, because I was
don't
working. I was
remember
doing a lot of work. I was doing.
No, that's right.
I was doing a lot of work, so you came in and you were kind of an apprentice.
Absolutely.
Before
you took me onto the sets and showed me the etiquette and just hang back here, just sitting and watching.
Don't trip over the cables. You absorbed everything.
Every bit of it. Then when class started,
yes,
I was never in my lifetime more like a sponge than I was in the class. I mean, just every little bit I could absorb. There were some bad makeup artists that came in to do some things.
Bad by bad, you mean?
Bad by. Not necessarily bad. I take that back.
They were using older techniques. Older techniques. But
it didn't matter.
No,
it didn't matter.
Everything you learn is important.
It went into the brain
That's right.
Okay, maybe that's not necessarily right now, but I can use it later for something else.
Exactly. Do you realize how many of the master makeup artists that I learned from?
Absolutely.
Head of makeup at 20th Century Fox, Ben Nye, Sr., Bud Sweeney at CBS, Lou Filippi at CBS, Charlie Nash at CBS, Rudy Horvatish at ABC, Harry Blake at NBC, Gordon Bow at Warner Brothers, George Bow at Warner Brothers, so many, Harry Thomas. I mean, so many of these makeup artists. But, I was this upstart kid. I've been studying makeup since I was 7 years old, very much like you did, starting at 10. And I knew how to do makeup.
Sure.
And these guys realized that. And when I would watch them work, I would recognize things that I maybe didn't agree with, that I felt maybe I could change slightly by changing a technique a little here or there. And of course I wouldn't insult them by telling them, hey, I don't think I like what you're doing, but because every one of them had a different technique. Everything that they spoke, everything that they did, everything that I observed was gold to me. And I absorbed everything from Ben Nye Sr., from everyone. Everyone that I worked with, I absorbed. And then I took all of these techniques and I put them together, fine-tuned them, and I created my own technique, which later then became the basis for the syllabus of education at the Joe Blasco Makeup Center. And this is what you did with me.
I think we all do that as makeup artists. We take from other people. We learn ourselves. We create our own way in it. I remember a makeup artist coming in, not to be named, doing a demonstration on old age. And I didn't know that much about stretch and stipple at that time, but I knew kind of right and wrong. There's certain techniques you should use.
Yes.
Well, he took the duo surgical adhesive, which was just latex with fillers in it.
Exactly.
In the metal tubes at the time. It wasn't the plastic tube.
Yes.
Squeezed it onto the face and then just took his fingers and just started rubbing it into the face. I thought, that's an interesting way of doing it. That's very interesting. That's not necessarily the way you do a subtle old age.
Yes.
But could work for something else.
Yeah, sure. For a burn.
But of course it took it, 10 minutes to dry because there was so much on.
See, but you knew.
I knew.
You knew enough to recognize that what the man was doing, he may not have been completely up to date.
Yeah.
Or maybe he had never really done it.
No, absolutely. I think he'd done it before.
Well, so we won't go there. We won't go there. No. But the bottom line is that we learn from everyone.
Oh, absolutely.
We learn from everyone.
We constantly
and you out there, you young students of makeup, you've got to understand that there's a lot of new things to learn, but never disregard the old techniques. Also, learn the old techniques because these techniques are the foundation of your education. All right, we're gonna stop just for a second, and we'll be right back right after these words.